back to the West Ham Network channel. My name is Harry, and in today's video I'll be doing my 5 things we learned against Fcsb. Now I do apologise before the video starts if my voice does sound a bit croaky. I was shouting a fair bit last night, so I do apologise. Before the video does start, obviously I do want to send my condolences out to the royal family. Of course, the Queen has just passed before the game started, so it was a bit of an eerie and weird kind of feeling around the stadium. Of course, we have to pay our respects with no music or anything like that. And obviously there was a minute of silence before the game to really show our respects, but of course we drowned that out with singing God Save the Queen. And I thought it was really nice touch, to be fair, and even the Romanian fans from Fcsb really showed their class as well by applauding and everything like that. So before the video starts, that's what I'd like to mention. That's why it kind of, to me, was a bit of a weird, eerie game. But yeah, let's get on with the video. The first thing we learned was that it was a game of 2 halves. The first half was very dull, and I thought it was very slow, and we took time to move the ball about. Weirdly, we still should have scored some goals in the first half, with a few missed chances from Scamacca, a couple of headers, and an opportunity on the edge of the box with his right foot. He failed to hit the target with ease. Now, I'm not just blaming Scamacca, of course, for the first half performance anyway, but I thought most of our players were subpar, and that really did affect us, of course, and it eventually made us go 1-0 down. The second half was a complete different story, with Moyes making 3 subs at half time. Bowen for Benrahma, Lanzini for Paqueta, and finally Scamacca for Antonio. Clearly Moyes was not happy, and these subs for me changed the game. You had Bowen on the right actually running at players and being direct. Paqueta was offering a lot more on the ball in the 10 position than Lanzini was, and Antonio was night and day between him and Scamacca. He was getting us up the pitch with his sheer brute force and pace. It was a real hassle for their centre-backs, even forcing one of them off for a substitution. Now once again, I'm not comparing him to Scamacca and saying that Scamacca was woeful, but as a fan base, if Antonio did put a performance in the first half that Scamacca did, especially with some of those missed chances, I think he would have been slated. Now I know he has just got over his illness, but it's just, I'm just being fair to both of them here. I'm not saying one's better than the other, but in the game last night, Antonio really did prove his worth. The second point is that I thought Downs was man of the match. On his first proper start for West Ham, Flynn Downs did not disappoint. For me, I thought he was man of the match and bossed the midfield with Declan Rice. His calmness tied in with his aggression really worked multiple times last night to win the ball back and make a last-ditch tackle to keep possession. It really impressed me. That sort of hunger and desire could really force his way into Moyes' starting 11. Now, I'm not saying there isn't anything he couldn't improve on, but for a first proper start, it didn't come much better than last night. He reminds me a bit of Declan Rice a few seasons ago. Very tidy on the ball and keeps it simple. By playing next to Dec more regularly, I'd like to think he would gain more confidence into playing more of them risky passes every now and then, which Declan now does so well. But of course, this will come. I think Downs has left Moyes with a lot to think about and really could replace Souček in the coming weeks. The third one, left back crisis is over. Emerson started at left back last night, and I'm sure he'd much prefer to be at left wing back, but due to a system change with forward at back, this was his position. Now, although I've seen many stating Emerson was one of the best players on the pitch, for me, he had a very weird but wonderful game at the same time. In the first half, we saw him at times picking up the ball from the halfway line and nearly carrying it into the opposition penalty box. He looked very comfortable on the ball and had confidence to go on these runs. Something that reminded me of Masuaku a few seasons ago. However, defensively at times he seemed to lack the concentration of a fullback, which we saw when Fcsb scored their goal. For me, I'd like to think in the future he plays within a back 5 formation, either as the left centre back or the left wing back. This will minimise his lack of defensive concentration and will give him more time to think back going forwards. The fourth point, 2 standout players. Now, although I was saying that Flynn Downs was my man in the match, there was 2 other players on the pitch that I have to mention within this series this week. They deserve a category to themselves, and those 2 players were Pablo Fornals and Thilo Kehrer. Fornals came on for around 20 minutes and just oozed class. Every time he was on and off the ball. He's criminally underrated at our football club. He linked with the likes of Declan and Antonio very well, and provided us with some quality balls in the final third. And that's just going forward. Defensively, he really provided Emerson with much needed cover and worked his arse off, but that's just what Fornals does. He would do a job anywhere on that pitch. The second player that I mentioned was Thilo Kehrer. Now, I must admit, when we bought him in from PSG for 10 million, I wasn't expecting a lot, and I just expected him to be another Diop-esque player. But every game he has really impressed me. I think for 10 million we've had an absolute steal, and in years to come we could probably sell him on for around 30 plus. He's not the tallest of centre backs, but oh my can he jump. He's decent in the air, as well as being very aggressive when the ball is on the floor, and even better when we have the ball. He's pretty as comfortable as a midfielder on the ball. If Moyes was to stick with forward at back for certain games, when other players come back from injury, it would not surprise me if he started in at right back. The fifth and final point, Conference League must be taken seriously. I think tonight showed how important we have to treat the Conference League. We cannot come with the attitude that they are a Romanian side that no one has ever heard of, because these sort of teams could cause us some problems. Not necessarily going forward, as tonight, bar their 1 goal, I don't think they phased us going forward. but when we attack them, I fear that some of these games could end in draws, as we really look to struggle to break them down in the first half. That's a real issue for Moyes, and in my opinion really needs to focus more on different build-up options in training, because to me at times it seems very one-dimensional. If we can adopt to these sort of games, I can see the Conference League being no real issue for us. It'll be interesting to see if we have the same issue against the likes of Silkeborg. So that is it guys, for the 5 things we've learned against Fcsb. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.
Good